Okay, so let's start thinking about drawing some of our elements here up in 3D. So let's take the steel beam for example. Let's go ahead and resave this under a different name. So save as, in the same place, as a DWG, but steel beam 3D, something like that, yeah? And make changes to your title block, of course, so make sure you change that to say steel beam plan elevation in 3D or something like that. Change your sheet number and change all your details to suit the new drawing. Okay, so let's go into model space and take a little look at our beam. Now if you hold down shift and then use your middle wheel to pan, like as if you were panning, the middle wheel of your mouse, you click down and you pan like this. If you hold down shift and do that, you'll notice that you can orbit around your objects, so you can look at it in 3D like that. And obviously we've only just drawn up in 2D, but we want to start drawing in 3D. So what first you want to do is get out of drafting mode. So you want to come down to this little wheel down here, click once, go to 3D Basics. And that'll give you some basic tools for 3D mode. Or you can go to simply 3D modeling, which is what I'm more familiar with. It has all the same, but just a little bit more. So why don't we go with that? And the first thing we want to do is, I mean, if I give you the sort of concept of working in 3D is to start in 2D like we have, to draw your shape, your desired shape, and pull it out into 3 dimensions. If I just give you a quick demonstration of what I mean by that, and then we can go into some more detail about how I did that. So the basic concept of what I'm going to try and do is use the Extrude tool. So if I just show you with a basic square, if I was to draw a basic square here and then select that square and press extrude up here, you'll see that it starts to pull it out. And if I specify the length, specify the height and extrusion there, you know, I can say 300 mil, hit enter, and it'll draw my sort of rectangle at 300 mil. We're in wireframe mode at the moment, so everything's sort of see-through. If you change, you can change that to conceptual if you like, to give a more solid 3D feel. But that's the basic concept of using the Extrude tool. So I can actually do that with my shape here. Although because it's a bit more of a complicated shape, it might not extrude. Let me try it first. Okay, so it is sort of extruding, but you can see that it's hollow. So we don't want it to be like that. We want it to be filled in. So I'm going to use a command here at the bottom called region. If you type in region, enter, select all the lines that you want to region, enter, you'll see that that shape is now filled in. And if I click that shape, you know, the plan sort of view of our beam, and hit extrude, then it's going to pull that beam right out like that. So because we're using that shape in our plan view, why don't you make a copy of it? Because if you see in paper space, we're using that in that viewport, so we want to copy it. Now here's where it gets interesting in CAD, because you're working in 3 dimensions. So if you just use the copy tool like we did before, you click copy, click where you want to copy from, put it where you want to copy to. It might look okay from that angle, but if I orbit round, so shift and middle wheel, well, in this case it seems to have stayed on the right plane. But it can be quite difficult in 3D when you're moving stuff around. If I click move, like, you never really know where you've moved it to, because you're looking from sort of one angle. But then if you start orbiting around in 3D, you can get yourself into all sorts of trouble. So what I find it's best to do is before you copy, if I just go back there, put on that little ortho mode at the bottom, toggle that on, then click copy, copy from, copy to, and it's going to keep it nice and straight on that flat plane. It's going to keep it in line with the plane that it's currently on. So let's extrude that one. Oh, I forget how long the beam was. How long was the beam? 2,300. So we want to extrude it 2,300 mils. So select the thing we're going to extrude, click extrude, type in 2,300 mil, hit enter, and there we've got a beam at 2,300 mil. So it's as simple as that. That's what sort of you know, working in 3D is you start in 2D and think about pulling your shapes out into sort of the third dimension. So let's take a little look at displaying this on paper space now. Yeah, so let's take a look at displaying the sort of the 3D object on our sheet here. If we turn that viewport, change its color so that we can see it again. Maybe let's do it with both of them. Might be worth it just for now so we can see where they are. Go to properties, color, let's change that color back to black. Get rid of that bit of text for now. So I'm going to select all of this stuff and move it over so that we've got space for our 3D object. Why don't I move that over this way? I'm going to copy this viewport. So select that viewport, copy from, copy to, double click in that viewport to activate it, scroll out, and then hold down shift and use your middle wheel like pan, and you're going to be able to position your 3D beam in there. It's in wireframe at the moment. Yeah, you see that W there, that's sort of saying 2D wireframe. Let's put it as realistic. I'm going to go in and change the colour of the beam because that black is quite hard to see. So click on your 3D beam, properties, colour, make it green, go back to sheet. Yeah, that's better. Change your viewports back to white. So select all your viewports, right click, properties, back to that colour, that sort of 255. Centralize this a bit. So there's your basic tools there in 3D up here. So select your viewport, move, sort of move it a bit more centrally. Copy that text. Just label that 3D view. And then you could, you know, make sure you've changed this down here, obviously. So plan section and 3D. Sorry, plan elevation and 3D. Still steel beam. Change your title block. Sheet number to 4. And then PDF that again. So the same way you go up to plot. So hopefully you've been able to follow that and you've produced a PDF and of something that looks kind of like that. What I'll do now is I want you to go on and put your next those concrete piles into 3D. The next two videos I'll show like of me drawing that in 3D, but there'll be no commentary. You can use this video for commentary and an explanation of how to do things, but it's the same process. And then if you're struggling to draw those any one of those piles in 3D, take a little look at the quick video of me doing it, and it might give you some tips on how to go about doing that. And so then by the end of this lecture, you'll have 3 PDFs from last time of 2D drawings, and then 3 new ones, sort of updated ones with a 3D view added to those layouts.